Hey guys, I'm here with another Wi-Fi battle against 9T3mayo2, I believe. And this is an enemy match, and here we go. I go for Slash as he goes for a Plusle. And now he goes for an Agility. So I know these things set up, so I decided to go for Stealth Rocks. And he goes for Encore, which I forgot that they have that. So I switch out into kecleon as he goes for another Agility. And right here I predict him going to Baton Pass, and he does, so I go Focus Punch and it hits Torkoal. So yeah, Focus Punch does a pretty good chunk, but doesn't even do half, so I guess it's not really a good chunk. So he goes for Stealth Rocks, like for a Substitute, and as it goes for Iron Defense, so now he completely walls me. But I have Toxic, so I go for a Toxic, and that misses. So now he knows I'm going to use Toxic, and he goes for a Noctowl. And there was a reason he was gonna use Noctowl, because he was gonna use Psycho Shift, and that fails because I have my sub up, and my Psycho Punch fails because he didn't succeed in that, and it's not an attack. So yeah, I go for a Focus Punch, and it does pretty well after a Reflect Up. And I go for another one as he goes for Roost, and now he's yeah, well, he's gonna take more damage because of that Roost, and that will almost KO him, but Poison will take him down, so down goes Noctowl. I'm at full health and I have a sub up, so that's pretty good. Now he sends out Torkoal as I go for Focus Punch, as he goes for Rapid Spin, and that doesn't break my sub. And now I go for Focus Punch, and it does very little, especially with Reflect Up. And now I go for Toxic, and now Torkoal is Poison. Now he uses Heat Wave, and I get it. He gets a crit. I don't know if that mattered in breaking my sub. Probably didn't, but I don't know. So I go for another Substitute, and I know he's gonna be sashed, because why else would he Rapid Spin before sending this thing out? So I go here for a Focus Punch, and that brings him all the way down to his sash. Down to 1 HP, and there we go. So I go for another sub, predicting the Sucker Punch or or a Swords Dance, and that works. So I go for a Focus Punch. I didn't want to risk failing with Sucker Punch, with my Sucker Punch, and missing with Toxic. So that was a for sure hit, and down goes Shiftry. So kecleon is doing pretty well right now. And now he decides to go into Articuno. I go for another sub, and I forgot Articunos have like a Roar and Whirlwind or something. So yeah, I have Purugly. I use Fake Out, and this is a pretty unique Purugly as a Fake Out and Last Resort, like Ambipalms. Well, some Ambipalms. And it does a pretty good amount of damage on that Quagsire. And Quagsire is a pretty defensive Pokemon. And I go for another Last Resort. It almost takes it down, but thanks to that stockpile, it survives. And it goes for a counter, and that will take down Purugly. And right here, I thought Politoed could have a sweep, because this is a Belly Toad. And he just goes for a straight recover. Probably should have gone for an attack, but my only other attack that's not water is Brick Break, and I didn't think it was gonna KO, and that would have risked me not having my sub up. So yeah, I go for Belly Drum now for Brick Break. and it does very little damage. He goes for Earthquake, and yeah, I go for another Brick Break with +6 attack. It does that much to Quagsire. Goes for Recover, and I still go for Brick Break because it's my only move. I have Waterfall on this, but the Quagsires have a Water Absorb, so that would be useless. I would be helping him out if I did use it. So yeah, I go for Sand Slash. These are pretty bulky, and I go straight for Toxic to wear this Quagsire down as he goes for Earthquake, and that does barely anything. So now he knows he has a switch. So he goes switch into his Puzzle, and this Sand Slash doesn't have Earthquake, but I think Night Slash is way better. I have this set, it's pretty unique. It's a Toxic stalling one. Has Super Fang, Toxic, Stealth Rocks, and Night Slash. I think Night Slash is pretty good for, you know, whatever comes in. And he goes for another Agility. I switch out into kecleon because he locked my Sand Slash into Stealth Rocks. And now I go for switch into kecleon, and I go for Focus Punch because I predicted him to go use a Baton Pass, and that didn't work out. So yeah, I'm struggling with kecleon here. As he goes for Encore, and it makes me use another Sucker Punch, so that's useless. So I switch out and go into Sand Slash, predicting him to use Thunderbolt, and instead he Baton Passes. And I thought it could take an Ice Beam because this Sand Slash has special defense EVs. And yeah, this battle was so long, so this narration was cut in two. So yeah, I go into Luxray, and he went for Articuno, and he was scared of my electric move, so he goes into Quagsire, which was a pretty good play. And he gets more poison damage as I go for Ice Fang, hoping for the flinch hacks, and I do get it. So yeah, I'm getting more leftover recovery, and so is he. And he gets more poison damage, and I go for another Ice Fang with the same flinch hacks, and I don't get it. And he goes for Recover. So yeah, his Quagsire is doing pretty good. My Luxray is at full health now, and he's getting more toxic damage. And still, I go for Ice Fang. I do get the flinch this turn. So yeah, I keep on spamming Ice Fang, and now he goes for Earthquake, and that will do almost half. But with leftovers, it's less than half, of course. And he gets more toxic damage, and now he's gone. Goodbye, Quagsire. And now he goes for Torkoal. I was fearing the explosion, so I go for Protect. But he doesn't seem to have Explosion. I didn't know until after the battle. Instead, he goes for Heat Wave. I go for Ice Fang, hoping for the flinch hacks again. And now he goes for Heat Wave, and that does a pretty good amount of damage to Luxray. So yeah, we're just here. And now he decides to switch into Plusle. He knows that was a safe switch in because I used Protect. And now I switch into my kecleon because I forgot Plusle's move pull. And yeah, his only attack was Thunderbolt, so it could have stayed in at least one more turn, but I didn't want him to set up and stuff. So yeah, I go into kecleon. I go straight for Toxic because I didn't know which one to use, Focus Punch or Sucker Punch. And that actually mattered if I used Sucker Punch. I don't want to waste it. But you'll see at the end of the battle why. So I go for a Substitute on the switch. And now I go for Focus Punch as it goes for Reflect on with this Articuno. And that does pitiful damage. Yeah, so now I decided to wear it down with Toxic. As he goes for Roar. And now he brings out my Magmortar. And with the agilities from Plusle, he will outspeed me with my Scarfed Magmortar. And it gets Water Pulse, and that will take Magmortar down. So yeah, now I switch into Luxray. I get the Intimidate, and I go for Protect to get more poison damage. So yeah, now I'm wearing him down and now I go for another Protect, and I do get it, which is great for me. And now the Reflect is down. So that was a really good play. It was pretty lucky on my part. So yeah, I predicted him to go for another Reflect or something. So I go for Spark, and it does a lot of damage on Articuno. And it's more poison damage. Now he predicts me to use Protect again, and he was right. And now he's with this Torkoal here. Gets more poison damage. I use Protect, fearing the explosion. Instead he goes for Heat Wave. And so yeah, we're just here. It's this Toxic Stall War. Go for Ice Fang, hoping for the Flinch Axe, and I don't get it. So yeah, it's pretty long. Yeah, I don't know what to say here. Okay, so now he's finally worn down. Toxic takes him out. And Stealth would have helped out a lot in this battle, but he used Rapid Spin earlier. So now he goes for Ice Beam. That will take out my Luxray. And he's almost down with Articuno. I think his Articuno has one attack left that he can use. And I go for Sucker Punch, and it takes him down. So I have a few more attacks with Kecleon. And all you can do is attack with Plusle, because he's poison, would take him down anyways. So yeah, great game, 9T3mayo. Hope to battle you again. Another NU match, so peace.